Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good
Good evening.
evening,
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Children completed the graph work?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Ma'am, the test you conducted on the topic understanding quadrilaterals, ma'am.
Huh?
That only one test I got good marks, ma'am. Other three tests I got poor marks. Can you explain the steps for the sums, ma'am?
Yeah. I'm still to share the answers. I'm writing the answers. Once I finish, I'll share the answers with you.
Ma'am, and in the third test, the first question, how many diagonals of a convex quadrilateral has, ma'am? The question is that, ma'am.
Okay, let me see the questions. What I didn't get the question actually.
Ma'am, how many diagonals does the convex?
Yeah, Sanjay and Sindhu. Yeah. The test, I'm writing the answers for the test. Let me share the answers in the next class and then you can get it clarified.
Yes, ma'am. Please explain the steps, ma'am. That's only I said.
Prepare steps. Yes, I am writing the steps because for paper 2, you need all the steps.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll share it with you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Send a message on WhatsApp.
Ma'am, I can't understand.
Reminder on WhatsApp, I said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Completed the graph, children? Yeah, I think most of you said yes. So recall, this is a double bar graph. We understood how to read the subdivisions, children. Any doubt there?
No doubt, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, and I'm having one doubt in double bar graph, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, double bar graph is used to compare both. No, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay, ma'am. I'm not sure about it, ma'am. That's why I asked, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think we have to continue from here, right? Have we finished this one? Is this over, children?
Yes, ma'am. Completed.
Yes, ma'am, it's over.
Okay. All right. So look at this one. Study the following frequency distribution. Study the following frequency distribution table and answer the questions given below. So you can see this is called, such a table is called a frequency distribution table or simply a frequency distribution. Now see the two columns we have here. The first column is called the class interval and the second column frequencies. The first column is the class intervals and the second one is the frequency column. Now last class I told you 100 to 125 is called a class interval. 100 to 125. Yes.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but in this data handling, there is also pie chart, no, ma'am.
Yeah, there is. That's the
Pie
next
chart
part.
is also included in that.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, because
Next topic is about
for
pie
me,
charts.
it's in exams, ma'am, so.
Yeah. The next topic is about pie charts.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So 100 to 125 is called a class interval. It's called a class interval. 125 to 150 is called a class interval. All these are called class intervals. Now 100 is the lower class limit. In the class interval 100 to 125, 100 is the lower class limit and 125 is the upper class limit, or simply the lower limit and the upper limit. Now tell me children, what do you call 275 to 300? What is it called? 275 to 300, what is it called?
Class interval, ma'am.
Class interval. Call a class interval. And what is 275? What is
I
275?
cannot able to understand this, ma'am. Can you repeat it, ma'am?
Now 275 to 300, this one is called a class interval.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And the first number 275 is called the lower limit.
Okay, ma'am.
And 300 is called the upper limit.
Okay, ma'am.
Now tell me, Devadarshini, into what is 200 to 225 called?
Ma'am, it is class interval, ma'am.
It's a class interval. Yeah. And what is 200 in it?
Lower class limit, ma'am.
Correct. Lower class limit. And 225?
Upper class limit, ma'am.
Upper class limit. Yeah. What is the Devadarshini? What is the frequency for the class interval 200 to 225? What is the frequency? What is
25, ma'am.
No, see properly. Watch carefully. 200 to 225. What's the frequency?
140.
Ma'am, 140.
140. What is the frequency for the class interval 300 to 325?
20, ma'am.
20, ma'am.
20. What is the frequency for the class interval 150 to 175?
55, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the
55, ma'am.
correct. So these are the frequencies for these class intervals. So what you see in the first column are the class intervals, and in the second column you have their respective frequencies. What do you call this table?
Frequency distribution.
Distribution table.
Distribution table, or simply frequency table, or frequency distribution. All right.
Yeah, ma'am. Now I can understand, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Now, children, let's answer these questions. What is the size of the class intervals? So now how do we find the size of a class interval? It is the upper class limit minus the lower class limit. You take up any class interval. You can take up anything. You don't have to take up 125 to 150. You don't have to take any particular class interval. Take any class interval. So I have taken the class interval 100 to 125. I've taken the first class interval. You can take anything. Now in the first class interval, what is the upper class limit? 125. What is the lower class limit? 100. So 125 minus 100. 25 is the size of the class interval. Now if you use some other class interval, say 225 to 250. Supposing we use this class interval 225 to 250. The size of the class interval is the upper class limit minus the lower class limit. So 250 minus 225, which is 25. So you will get 25, whichever class interval you choose. Okay, size is also called the width of the class interval. Size is also called the width of the class interval. WIDTH, width of the class interval. Got that, children? Size of the class interval?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next one is which class has the highest frequency? Which class meaning which class interval? Which class meaning which class interval has the highest frequency? Which
200 to 25.
200 to 225 has the highest frequency. Which class has the lowest frequency?
300 to 325, ma'am.
300 to 325, ma'am.
Very good. 300 to 325. That Class meaning class interval, children. Class meaning it's a, you can say class or class interval. So which class has the lowest frequency? 300 to 325. What is the upper limit of the class interval? 250 to 275. What is the upper limit? Upper limit. Yeah, upper limit meaning upper class limit. Upper limit meaning upper class limit. 275. Which two classes have the same frequency?
150 to 175 and 225.
150 to 175 and then 225 to 250, ma'am.
Very good. Yes. So these two class intervals have the same frequency. What is the frequency for both the class intervals?
55, ma'am.
55. Both these class intervals have the same frequency, 55. Take a screenshot, children.
Ma'am, could you? Yeah, ma'am. Nothing, ma'am. Taken, ma'am.
Very good. All right. Now see this question. Construct a frequency distribution table. You need to construct a frequency distribution table. In the earlier question, a frequency distribution table was given to you. In the earlier question, a frequency distribution table was given to you. Here, you'll have to construct a frequency distribution table. You'll have to construct a frequency distribution table. Okay, for the data on weights of 20 students of a class using intervals, the intervals are given to you using the intervals 30 to 35, 35 to 40, and so on. Excuse me. So let's understand the question. We need to construct a frequency distribution table. That is, you should have a table with the two columns, class interval and frequency. You will have tally marks when you're constructing. See here, I'll tell you the difference. In the earlier table, you did not have tally marks. When the frequency distribution is given to you, you will not find tally marks. But if you have to construct the frequency distribution, then you will use tally marks. I'll tell you again. If the frequency distribution is given to you in the question, it's given to you in the question, then you will not see the tally marks column. There'll be only two columns, class intervals and frequencies. But supposing you have to construct, you have to prepare the frequency distribution table, then you will make three columns, class intervals, tally marks, frequencies. You will have one extra column, tally marks. If you are constructing, if it is given, the tally marks column will not be there. Is that understood, children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So see, you construct a frequency distribution table for the data, excuse me, on weights. So the data is regarding the weights of 20 students of a class. The data meaning the numbers which you see there, 40, 38, 33, 48, 60, the numbers which you see here. Okay, that collection of numbers is called data. This is the data. This is the data. Data is a collection of numbers which represent some information. Data in statistics, data is a collection of numbers. Or it can be a collection of some terms. Like in one question we had, it's mostly a collection of numbers. It's mostly a collection of numbers, but in this case, see here. There's also data, dog, cat, fish, cat, rabbit. So these are the, the results of when I think, I don't know how many students here, how many, yeah, 28 students. When 28 students were asked about their pet animals, this is the answer they gave. So this also data here. There's also data here. But data and statistics is mostly numerical. In to a numerical, such information which consists of numbers is referred to as data. See it? It's a collection of numbers. It's a collection of numbers representing some information. What is the information it represents? It represents the weights in kgs of 20 students. Why are these numbers called data? Why are these numbers called data? Because they represent the information regarding the weights of some number of students. So here 20 students of a class. So this is the data given to us. This is the data given to us. This is the data given to us. All right. Okay. Now what are we supposed to do? We have to prepare a frequency distribution table. We have to prepare a frequency distribution table. What are the columns we have to take? Class interval, tally marks, frequency. Class interval, tally marks, frequency. What will the class intervals represent? Weights in kg. That's what the data is about. That's what the data is about. Weights in kg. And the frequency is the number of students. Frequency is the number. See, there are two things here. One is the weight and the other is the students. So these are the class intervals which we have to take. 30 to 35, 35 to 40 and so on. So now the question is, how many class intervals like this should we take? For that, you need to identify the lowest value and the highest value. Which is the lowest value in the data? Or if you look for the lowest value or the lowest observation. 31. 31 is the lowest value. And which is the highest value?
65, ma'am.
65 is the highest value. 31 is the lowest value and 65 is the highest value. So this, why should we find? Why should we find the lowest and the highest value or the lowest and the highest observation? Because only then you will know from which class interval to start and where to end. Now for this data, children, do you think you need the class interval 5 to 10? Do you need the class interval 5 to 10?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, because the numbers are not there.
Because there's nothing that can be written between 5 to 10. There is no 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 here. Correct? What about 10 to 15? Do you need 10 to 15?
Ma'am, the numbers of from the data starts from 30.
31, ma'am. So we have to start from 30 to 37.
Yeah, that is why. So that clue is also given to you in the question. Using the class intervals 30 to 35, 35 to 40 is also given to you in the question. Even if that was not given, you should know that you should start only from 30. All right, children. So now I want all of you to do this. Just do this in your book. Write out the class intervals 30 to 35. What will be the last class interval? What will be the last class interval?
Ma'am, 4.
70, ma'am.
Sorry?
65 to 70, ma'am.
Very good. 65 to 70. 65 to 70 will be the last class interval. Now you all know how to put tally marks?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do that. Do that and tell me the frequencies for the class intervals.
Ma'am, should we add and tell, ma'am?
Yeah. The frequency also. Give these headings and complete the table. Please don't announce the answers. Don't announce the frequencies. I'll ask you.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, Kirtana?
Ma'am, the class interval, I divided it as 30 to 35, 35 to 40, and so on, ma'am.
Yeah.
That 45, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, and until
Correct.
65, ma'am.
Correct.
The first number given was 40, ma'am.
The first is 40. Correct. Yeah.
What should I, like, should I put a tally mark in 35 to 40 or 40 to 45, ma'am?
Very good question. Yeah. So where is 40 the lower limit?
40 to 45.
Yeah, you should include it in that class interval. That upper limit. When you take any now in 30 to 35, what is the upper limit? In 30 to 35, what is the upper limit?
35. 35.
Okay, what is the next class interval? 35 to 40, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No, listen. 35 is an upper limit of a class interval and the lower limit of the next class interval. Include it in the class interval where it is the lower limit, not the upper limit. Include that in the class interval where it is the lower limit.
Okay, ma'am.
Now tell me, where will you include 40 in the class interval?
40 to 45.
Why? Because
it's a lower limit in that
40.
particular interval.
Yeah, because there 40 is the lower limit. If you put it in 35 to 40, 40 is the upper limit. You should not put it there. You should put it in the class where it is the lower limit. Okay.
Ma'am, can you teach me one more time how to find a frequency?
Frequencies, huh?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't know. I am new to class.
Yeah, Rishi. Okay. Have you written the class intervals, Rishi?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I heard it.
Read out your class intervals.
Yes, ma'am. 30 to 35 and 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65, 65 to 70.
Very good. Very good. 65 to 70. Now, take up the numbers one by one. Take up the, excuse me, take up the numbers one by one. What's the first number?
30.
40. Now, where do you find this number 40? In 35 to 40 and 40 to 45, correct? Put a line, put a tally mark against 40 to 45. Like this. You understand? Yeah, put a tally mark again. Have you come across tally marks in your earlier standard, 7th standard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. You know you have to cross. You'll have to, excuse me, strike through when you have 4 tally marks, right? To make 5, you'll have to cross out 4 tally marks. You know that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now what you do is take up the first number 40 and put a tally mark against the class interval 40 to 45.
Yes, ma'am.
Why in 40 to 45? Why not 35 to 40?
Because there is no the first number 40, ma'am. We're starting from that 35 to 40 only, ma'am.
No, in 35 to 40 also we have 40, right?
Yes, ma'am. But in 30 to 35 we don't have 40, ma'am.
Okay, it should be so 40 to 45. In 40 to 45, 40 is a lower limit. You should include it there, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about 38? Which class interval 38?
35 to 40.
35 to 40. Put a tally mark there. Against that class interval. Excuse me, against that class interval, put a tally mark.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, next take the number 33. Where will you put a tally mark? for 33?
30 to 35.
Very good. Next, 48. Where will you put a tally mark for 48?
45 to 50.
Very good. Keep doing that. Take up one number after the other and just use tally marks. And once you complete all the numbers, you can find out the frequencies.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Is it over, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. The first two, you already saw the frequencies for 30 to 35 and 35 to 40. It was visible, so I'll not ask you that. What's the frequency for 40 to 45?
4, ma'am.
4.
All of you getting 4? Any different answer?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then 45 to 50?
5, ma'am.
5. Please tell me if you're getting a different value. Okay, I'm writing down whatever you're saying. If you're getting a different value, I'll note it down. Then 50 to, excuse me, 50 to 55?
1, ma'am.
1.
All of you? 55 to 60?
1, ma'am.
1, ma'am.
All of you children? Any different answer?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, 6. Okay, 1 minute. Rishi, tell us what is the frequency for the class interval 60 to 65? $60 to $65. What is the frequency?
1, ma'am.
Others, what do you have to say? Is it 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Rishi, what about for 65 to 70?
1, ma'am.
1, ma'am.
Which is that value, Rishi, which you included in 65 to 70?
65, ma'am.
Very good. 65. 65 is the value that belongs to the class interval 65 to 70.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me see if you're all right. You all given me 3, 4, 4, 5 and all ones. 3, 4, 4, 5 and all ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. 3, 4, 4, 5 and ones. Yes, so all of you are right. Rishi, please check your tally marks. This is what I said for 5. For 5. You should not, yeah, you should not put 5 tally marks. You must do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you should strike it out like this. 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Children, what is the width of the class intervals? I'm asking you this question. It's not there, but what is the width of the class intervals?
5, ma'am.
How do we find the width? Yeah, how do we find the width?
Ma'am, upper limit minus lower limit.
Very
Upper
good.
class limit minus lower class limit, ma'am.
Very good. Upper class limit or upper limit minus lower class limit or lower limit. Which class interval should we take?
We can take anything, ma'am. The answer will be the same, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, that is, see, to the extent we are introduced to frequency distribution, this explanation will hold good. We have many more types of distributions. So to the extent what we have studied, you can take any class interval because there are frequency distributions with different class sizes also. Different class intervals will have different sizes. So we have not studied that. So for us now, you can take any class interval because it's the size or the width is uniform, is the same everywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
In all the class intervals, the size or the width is the same, it's uniform. Now I want you to all answer this question. In that, what are the values that are contained in the class intervals 30 to 35?
30, 31, 33.
33, 34.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. When we say size or width of the class interval, do you all know the meaning of the term integers? So from integers, we have this word integral, integral, integral. Okay. So the size is nothing but the number of integral class values a class interval holds. Integral means integers. How many integers are there in this class interval 30 to 35? That is what is the class size. Because between 30 to 35, there are so many numbers like 30.1, 30.2, 30.05, 30.55, 30.92. There are infinitely many numbers lying between 30 and 35. There are infinitely many numbers lying, in this class interval 30 to 35. Then what is class size? Class size refers to the number of integral values. How many integers are there in this class interval? That is what is the class size.
Yes, ma'am.
Because how many numbers? There are so many numbers. So when we say class size or class width, we are talking about the number of integers. How many integers belong to this class interval? How many integers? So we say how many integral values. Integral means of integers. Integral values. Integral means of integers.
Yes, ma'am.
Integral values. Now, like for flower, don't we say floral? When we say floral, meaning it's of a flower. Floral. That means it's of a flower, something related to flowers. Floral.
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, integral, meaning of integers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, in the class interval 30 to 35, we include 30, only integers, children. So 30, see, I'll tell you something. If you have a value like 30.5, that will belong to the class interval 30 to 35. If there's a value like 32.5, 32.5, that will belong to this class interval 30 to 35. But the meaning of class size is how many integers are there in the class 30 to 35. How many integers? 30, 31, 32, 33 and 34. Because 35 does not belong to this class interval. That is what is 5. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. The class size is 5. And how we get it? We don't count like this. We just subtract 35 minus 30. 5 is the class size.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so now what you have all done is you have all constructed a frequency distribution table. You've all constructed a frequency distribution table. So it has 3 columns: class interval, tally marks, and frequency. The total of all these should be 20 because 20 students. 20 students. So the total of the frequency column should be 20.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let's see the next one. Now, we have something called the graphical representation. Now, see here. Now, this is called a grouped frequency distribution. This is called a grouped. I told you, I've used this word earlier, this term earlier. Such class intervals are called, such a distribution is called a grouped frequency distribution. Grouped because there are class intervals. If there are class intervals, it is called a grouped frequency distribution. Grouped, I'll just write FD for frequency distribution. When the frequency distribution has class intervals, when the frequency distribution has class intervals, it's called a grouped frequency distribution. Why grouped? Because there are groups. Groups means there are class intervals. There are class intervals. So it's called a grouped frequency distribution. All right. Okay. Now this one is also a grouped frequency distribution because we can see class intervals. If you can see class intervals, it's a grouped frequency distribution. Now we have something called the graphical representation. Graphical representation of a grouped frequency distribution. This is a grouped frequency distribution because it has class intervals. Now this one can be represented graphically, and that is called a histogram. The graphical representation of a grouped frequency distribution is called a histogram. The graphical representation of a grouped frequency distribution is called a histogram, and that's what you see here. That's what you see here. So this is just an example, children. This is just an example. You can see a frequency distribution here. Excuse me. You can see a frequency distribution here. Is it a grouped frequency distribution? This is not a question, children. This is just to understand. Okay, this is just to understand. Okay, can you see? See, you don't see the tally marks column. See, because the table is already given. If you are preparing the table, then you will have the tally marks column. But the table is already given, so you will not find the tally marks column.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, it may be given sometimes. That's a different thing. But in most cases, it is not given. When we prepare a frequency distribution, we will include the tally marks column. Okay.
Yes,
all right, children. So what you see here, we have two columns. The first one has class intervals, that is groups. These are groups. 0 to 10 is a group. You're grouping some numbers in this class interval. No, you're going to group 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in 0 to 10. It's like, yeah, a group of friends. You know, all these numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all of them will go to 0 to 10. Like they form a group and they go to, all of them will go to 0 to 10. And the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. All these numbers, as if they form a group, you know, they'll all go to 10 to 20. So class intervals are also groups because a set of numbers will belong to that class interval. So they're called groups. So this one is a grouped frequency distribution. See, I'm repeating this term so that because it's new to you and so that it gets registered. So this is a grouped frequency distribution, and the graphical representation of such a distribution is a histogram. And histogram is what you see here in the second column. What you see is a histogram.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, children, what you see here is, now supposing These class intervals are regarding the marks of the students. Okay, so you can say marks, you can give whatever is the information about, you can say marks of the students. And here the frequencies represent the number of students. So take the class intervals along the x-axis. Take the class intervals along the horizontal line and the students along the vertical line. Let me finish it fully and then you can ask me your doubts. So now let's begin how to make this histogram. The frequency distribution will be given to you. So how do we make the histogram? So first draw the vertical and horizontal lines. Excuse me. Now see here, write out all these numbers. See, I'm showing you the 7. I'm showing you a 7. See here, 7. See, can you see the 7? I've made a 7. What are the numbers on the 7? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You must write all those numbers along the horizontal line. Let me show you again. See here, I'm showing a 7. Please watch the 7 I'm writing. Such a tall 7. See, this is 7. What are the numbers in? See, I'm just saying 7. The number 7, children. Okay. So what are the numbers? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So what you have to do is draw a vertical line, draw a horizontal line. Okay. Children, don't mind my lines are crooked. You should draw a straight line. Don't draw crooked lines like this. Okay, let me try again. Okay, so now start writing the numbers. 0, 0 will come here. Then that first centimeter on your graph, the first centimeter, mark it as 10. And on your graph paper, that second centimeter line, mark it as 20. That third centimeter line on your graph paper, use a graph paper, children, not your notebook, mark 30. Then on the next, excuse me, on the next centimeter line, mark 40 and go on like this. Can you do this, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to go on like this. You will have to mark 50 and finally 60. 60 will be the last value on the horizontal line. Okay. Next, on the vertical line, that's what on the horizontal line, it's easy. Whatever is here, whatever numbers are here, we'll just write all those numbers. Now on the vertical line, you will have to choose something called a scale. Now look at what is the smallest value in the frequency?
1, ma'am.
1. And what is the biggest value?
21, ma'am.
21. So this is that 5 centimeter, meaning that middle line. I'm just showing you the middle line in your graph paper. I'm showing you that middle line in your graph paper. All right. So children, this is that 1 centimeter on your graph paper. Okay. Yes or no? This is also that 1 centimeter on your graph paper. All right. So you will now, you said the smallest value is 1 and the biggest value is 21. Excuse me. So here every centimeter is marked in multiples of 2 because the smallest value is 1. You can even mark 1 to 21. You can directly take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 21. Your bar graph will, your histogram, your bars will be tall. It'll be pretty tall, but it's still okay. It's still okay. Here they have taken a scale of 2, meaning that one, see, this is 0. That first centimeter they've marked it 2. The next centimeters, have you all used a graph paper?
No, ma'am.
Not used a graph paper?
Ma'am, I am not having graph paper now with my hand, ma'am. After class, I will just do this activity and will send you in WhatsApp, ma'am.
No, have you used a graph paper? My question is, have you used a graph paper?
Ah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So all of you know how the graph paper looks like, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so there are small divisions. We discussed this in the last class also. There are small divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Then there are small divisions 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this is 1 centimeter. This is 1 centimeter. And that's what is marked 2. 2. The next centimeter mark 4. The next centimeter mark 6. The next centimeter mark 8. Go on like that till 22. Because we have 21, no? So 22. Now tell me, one by one, tell me if you understood. What to mark along the x-axis, what to mark along the y-axis. Do we understand?
Yes, ma'am.
X-axis, you must take the class intervals, those numbers which I've shown in the 7. Next centimeter, you must write, children. Next centimeter, see, this is that 1 centimeter, 10. The next centimeter, 20. The next centimeter, 30. The next centimeter, 40, like that. And here also, that centimeter which you get after 0, 1 centimeter after that 1 centimeter gap, I'm saying. That 1 centimeter gap after 0 is 2. The next centimeter gap after 2 is 4. Like that, you keep marking till 22. Okay, so this is the preparation. Now we are ready to make the histogram. Remember, the histogram is made up of bars that stick to each other. That like a bar graph, there is no space between two bars. Like a bar graph, there will be no spacing between two bars. The bars will stick to each other. The rectangles stick to each other. There is no gap. So let's begin. 0 to 10. The height of the rectangle or the height of the bar must be 2. So see here, children, 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 0 to 10. The height of the bar is 2. So complete the bar like this, complete the bar like this. So it's like basically like this, you have this. So 0 to 10, 0 to 10. The height should be 2. This is what you should do. Do we understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, see the next one, 10 to 20. So this is 10 to 20. This is 10. This is 20. So see, the bar should rise till 10, which is 10. This is 10. So to the height of 10, and it should land on 20. It should land on 20 because 10 to 20 is the height of the bar is 10. 10 to 20, the height of the bar is 10. So start from 10. Rise up till you reach 10, and then land on 20. That is 10 to 20. Here I'm rising up from 10. I'm rising up from 10. I go up to a height of 10, and then I come down and I land on 20. That is what is the meaning. 10 to 20, the height of the bar is 10. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, see here, 20 to 30 is 21. So you must rise from 20. Rise up from 20. Rise up, go up till 21. So where is it 21? Between 20 and 22, that line. This is 21. Between 20 and 22 is 21. Exactly in the middle. Not the first subdivision. Not the first subdivision. After 20, the first subdivision is not 21. The middle line, 20 to 22, the middle line is 21. So from 20, rise up to 21, rise up to 21 and complete the rectangle and land on 30. 20 to 30, the height is 21. Go on like this. And the last one, 50 to 60 is 1. So see here, you start from 50, you rise up to 1 and you land on 60.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're given the histogram, you should be able to construct the frequency distribution. If you're given the histogram, you should be able to construct the frequency distribution. So see here, if you're given the histogram, you should be able to say class interval 0 to 10, frequency 2. Class interval 10 to 20, frequency 10. Class interval 20 to 30, frequency 21. Class interval 30 to 40, frequency 19. Do we understand, children? Given the histogram, you should be able to construct the frequency distribution. When you're given the grouped frequency distribution, the graphical representation is a histogram. When you're given the histogram, you should be able to make the grouped frequency distribution. Understood, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Read the information here. Take a screenshot, all of you. So you can just take the heading like this. Prepare a histogram for the given frequency distribution. You can just give that heading and do this. Prepare a histogram. Prepare a histogram for, or just say prepare a histogram. Just write the heading, prepare a histogram. This is the question. The grouped frequency distribution is a question, and this is your answer. The histogram is the answer. You don't have to write this, children. This is just for your reference. You may, I'm not saying don't write. You can just read and understand this. You can also write if you're interested. Took a screenshot?
Yes, ma'am.
Taken, ma'am.
All right, children. Now here, all right. Okay, so here a histogram is given to you. A histogram is given to you. Can you see? Can you? Okay, fine. How many of you are there in the meeting? Where are the others? Class, use the emoji. Raise your hand. Kirtana, are you there? Kirtana and Deva. No answer. Okay, let me ask Sindhu. Sindhu, tell me the first class interval with its frequency.
20 to 25, ma'am. And the frequency is 4, ma'am.
Very good. Sanjay, which is the next class interval and what is the frequency?
Ma'am, 25 to 30 is the next class interval and it is 5, ma'am. The frequency is 5, ma'am.
Very good. Devadarshini, next class interval and the frequency? No answer. Raja?
Ma'am,
Yeah, Raja, which is the next class interval and the frequency?
ma'am, the next class interval is 30 to 35.
Frequency?
Frequency is 6.
Very good. Next one, Raja?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Kirtana, ma'am.
35.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
okay. Raja, thank you. Kirtana's back. Okay. Kirtana, I did call out for you. You did
Sorry,
not
ma'am.
answer.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm facing a lot of network, ma'am. But the next is 35 to 40, and the frequency is 3. After
Okay.
that, 40.
Okay. No, thank you, Kirtana. Thank you. Rishi,
Yes, ma'am.
next class interval?
40 to 45 and the class interval and the frequency is 2, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And finally, class, tell me finally what's the last class interval?
45 to 50 and the frequency
45
is
to
5,
50.
ma'am.
45 to 50.
Very good. 45 to 50 and the frequency is 5. So see, I was telling you, given the histogram, we will be able to make the grouped frequency distribution. What will be What will be the first heading for the first column?
Can you repeat?
No, the two columns in the grouped frequency distribution, what will be the names? What will be the heading for the first and the second column?
X-axis and Y-axis.
Class interval for the first column and the second column will be frequency, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. So the first column will be class intervals, and in bracket you can write age in years. Class interval, in bracket you can write age in years. Age, you can see it here, age in years. And next one you should write frequency, and in bracket number of teachers. And children, what is something you notice in this histogram?
Ma'am, in the between this somewhat jagged line was.
Yeah, there's a broken line like this. Can you tell me why?
Ma'am, there will be no features in the age, ma'am, before 20, ma'am.
Yeah, because when you excuse me, when you make class intervals like 20 to 25, this one is 5. This one is 0. So where are the class intervals 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20? Where are these class intervals? We have not used them because we don't have any values against them. So since we are starting off, we are not starting from 0 to 5. We show this jagged line. Now, in the earlier one, we did not show the jagged line because we started from 0 to 10. See, there was no break. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So there was no need for a broken line because we started from the beginning. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. There was no need for a jagged line here because there is continuity. We start from the beginning, 0. But here, there is 0 here, children. It's not marked, but there is 0 here. But after that, it should be 0 to 5, and then 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. No, we don't see those numbers at all. We directly see 20 to 25, 20, 25. So just to show that we are not starting from the beginning, we use a broken line or a jagged line, or it's also called a kink. It's also called a kink. That broken line is also called a kink. Do we understand the meaning for the jagged line? Or the broken line or the kink? So because you can see the explanation below, we are not showing the numbers between 0 to 20. That's why the broken line. Now see if you can just go through the questions and see if you can answer. You can see the answers also there. Okay. All of you understand that? You understand, Rishi? Very good.
Ma'am, understood the questions and answers, ma'am.
Yes, children, go through this one. Look at the histogram given. Observe the histogram and answer the questions given below. Observe the histogram. Look at the histogram. What heading can you give the histogram? What does the histogram represent?
About heights, ma'am. Heights.
About the height of how many girls? Is it given? How many girls is it given?
Ma'am, can you show the previous page? I forgot to take a screenshot, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me when you're done.
Yes, ma'am, I'm done.
Good. All right, children. So, yeah, my question is, can we find out the number of girls? It's not given, but can we find out how many girls?
7, ma'am.
Very good. Others, please think. All of you, in fact.
Yes, ma'am. I also think 7, ma'am.
Yes, class.
Because in the frequency is given, ma'am, the 7. The frequency.
Correct. Yeah. All of you. Any different answer?
Also the
No, ma'am, 7,
ends
ma'am.
with 7, ma'am.
All of you said 7.
Yes, ma'am. Because in the frequency column, the highest value is 7, and there is no more than 7, ma'am. So I think it will be 7 girls.
But if I say that answer is wrong, will you feel that I am wrong or you are wrong? Now, suppose I say no, your answer is incorrect. Will you think again, or do you feel that I am wrong? Think again. If you're asked to, if I say the answer is incorrect, then you will.
Answer is incorrect. Because there is tag line.
So one by one. Sindhu and Sanjay, yes.
20, ma'am.
Sindhu and Sanjay 20. Okay, see, now they've changed their opinion. That's what when I say it's incorrect, you think again, no? So you will get the right answer yourself.
Yes, ma'am, because we have to add the frequencies, ma'am. I'm just telling about the next one.
Correct. You have to add the frequencies. See here, how many students? See here, what's the tallest bar here, children? 21. But how many are there? What's the total frequency? 60 is the total frequency. I've changed the slide. Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
See here, children, what's the total frequency? 60. But if we say that the highest frequency is 21, so the total is 21. 21 is one of the frequencies. 21 is not the total frequency. 19 is one of the frequencies. It's not the total. See here, 2. 2 is here. 2 is here. 10 is here. 10. 7 and 1. 7 and 1. All these are the frequencies. You should add all the frequencies to get the total frequency. So what will we do? What's the total number of girls, children? Though it is not given, we can find by adding the heights of the parts.
20, ma'am.
How much?
20, ma'am.
20. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 7, 13. 13 plus 4, 17. 17 plus 2, 19 plus 1, 20. So the information represented in this histogram is about the heights of 20 girls of class 7. This histogram represents the heights in centimeter of 20 girls of class 7 of some particular school. We don't know which school. Do we understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That is what is that is the first question. What information is being given by the histogram? Here it's not mentioned 20 girls. You can write 20 girls. You can write what information is given. You can write all that. The given histogram represents the heights in centimeter of girls of class 7. You can also write 20 girls of class 7. Is it clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
So the total number of girls is equal to 20.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Due to some network issues, I left the meet, ma'am.
No problem. You use the recording, Devadarshini. I'll share the recording. But just make use of the recording to see what you missed.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Now tell me the class intervals, children. Tell me the class intervals.
125 to 130, 130 to 135, 135 to 140, 140 to 145, 145 to 150, 150 to 155, 155 to 160.
Very good, very good. Very good, children. What is the frequency of the class interval 135 to 140?
3, ma'am.
3. Okay. Fine, children. It's time for today's class. I have a next class now at 7:05. Please take a screenshot of this one. Go through the questions and the answers. We'll meet in the next
Taken,
class.
ma'am.
Taken?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Please check all the questions. See if you're able to answer it. Don't see the answer. Right? Somebody's mic is enabled. Please disable your mic. Yeah, children. Please read the question. Don't see the answer. Please read the question. Try to answer it yourself and later check if your answer is correct. If it's incorrect, also don't be discouraged. See the correct answer and understand it. We shall discuss this in the next class.
Ma'am.
And Sanjay and Sindhu, just send a message to me on WhatsApp regarding the answers of test. Just send a message, answers for the test, so that it serves as a reminder for me.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Devadarshini.
Ma'am, ma'am, 1 second. Can you show the frequency construction, that question, ma'am?
One, huh?
No, ma'am.
This one?
Not this, ma'am.
Right, all right. This one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. Yeah.
Ma'am, can we leave session?
All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. You may leave the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.